Welcome, Philly, to your favorite sports show, Babes on Broad, hosted by Jesse Town and Sam Wilson, and they're all Philly. So thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show. Babes on Broad.
Hello and welcome into Babes on Broad pregame live week 11. So it's Carson Wentz week. Hopefully we see good things out of that and hopefully it brings us the good luck we want. But going with that being said, I'm Sam Wilson, obviously, with my co-host Jesse Town, and we're the Babes on Broad, brought to you by BGN Radio and SB Nation. We want to thank everybody for tuning in right away for our pregame show today. But now we have to get into the 3-5-1 Philadelphia Eagles and the 6-3 Cleveland Browns. So real quick, before we get into that, Jess, what are we doing for food? What are we doing for drinks? All of that.
Well, I'm knocking things over. Let's start there.
I just looked up on, because we're live on Instagram live as well today, guys. So I looked up at the screen and Jace's face all over.
Falling. Good time to go live. What are you going to do? Well, today I made a fancy little Eagles latte that I've got going on. So it was just, I made regular coffee over ice in our fancy little coffee maker with Starbucks cinnamon dolce latte creamer. And I put some, I don't know if you can see it, little green sprinkles on top to make it.
Oh, that's cute. I can't see it, but my eyes are bad. You know, never wear my glasses.
You can see it on my straw.
Oh, so cute. Look, I have my festive mug because I, as well, am having coffee. And it's super festive and cute.
We need coffee. You need coffee to start this before. That was, I think someone said that to us on our Twitter today. Someone was like, please just bring all the coffee. I just need coffee. And I don't disagree. What are you eating today, though?
So today, early, I started out with a Wawa sizzling.
Ribs?
What?
How were the ribs?
Oh, the ribs were delicious. Not as good as my mom's, but they were delicious.
Okay. I just realized I hadn't asked, so.
There's a lot to it. That's why we couldn't do the recipe, because we had some stuff we had to fine tune. So hopefully soon enough we'll have the recipe for you guys, because that'd be sweet. But so I had a Wawa Sizzly to start out this morning, and then later my mom, coming in clutch again, got us steaks. So we're gonna do steaks on the grill with some asparagus, a baked potato. Eating well over here. What about you?
So right now Joe ordered breakfast, so I have a nice little bagel sitting next to me that I'm pretty excited about. And then I'm probably gonna make a really easy like chicken casserole later, which all I do is just like cream of chicken soup and then mayo and seasoning all together.
I love chicken casserole. It's been one of my favorites since I was a kid, and it's kind of funny that it is, but it has. It's just been one.
Well, I'm making chicken casserole, so if you want me to come swing by and drop some at your door, let me know, because that's what we can do these days and nothing else.
Yeah, right.
All right.
So let's get into this game.
Let's get into it.
Like I said, 3-5-1 Philadelphia Eagles against the 6-3 Cleveland Browns. So on paper, it looks like we should lose this game, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to flip around and give some positivity to what we can. Hopefully we don't make it negative. I don't know if mine's going to be too positive. But going with the injury report on the Eagles side. So injuries are getting better, but the COVID list got a couple of them this week. So we do have Isaac Seumalo returning today, which is big for that offensive line. It should be overall better too. Just Kelsey, I doubt he's going to have that misery game that he had last week for a second week when that was such an outlier. So he should be playing better. We get Isaac Seumalo back. We'll see the line coming form cohesiveness again, hopefully. And then we do have Rudy Ford still out from that hamstring injury. And then COVID. We have JJ Arcega-Whiteside out on the COVID list, Corey Clement, Vinny Curry, and Marcus Epps. And then we also have some guys coming in to replace them off the practice squad. So we have Elijah Holyfield, T.Y. McGill, Joe Ostman, and Caleb Wilson, which I didn't even know he was on our practice squad. First time hearing his name.
I don't even know who's where anymore. I just say, yes, they're playing this week, and I try to make sure I know who's on the field for the Eagles so I don't have another oh my God, who was the guy who's – I don't even remember what his name was. Jason Kroom.
Oh, Kroom.
Caught the touchdown, and we
it was Kroom. You're right. It was Kroom.
Who are you? No idea who that person was, and he caught a touchdown, and we were like, who even knew he was active today?
And now Kroom's gone, and Caleb Wilson took his spot.
Yeah, so
we'll see.
But also, the Eagles have another interesting factor going into today, and that is that they have several coaches out as well. There's no COVID list for coaches, but because of COVID protocols, they have no coaches there. So Jeremiah Washburn, who's a defensive assistant, Aaron Moorhead, the wide receivers coach, and then Press Taylor, the quarterback's coach. Now, I thought this was interesting because when asked about it and asked how things would change, Doug said something along the lines of, well, instead of me relaying things to Press and then him getting them to Carson and I will just be going one-on-one, which I personally think is better. And I feel like I still don't know Press Taylor must be doing something at least somewhat decent because he's been here for the last however many years, but I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to realize that Carson has not really progressed in the last few years.
Yeah.
We've lost John DeFilippo and moved over to Press Taylor as the quarterback's coach. So I'm interested to see if that helps anything at all. If, we see a little bit more of, I think one of the biggest things is, I don't know if you saw the picture circulating after the Thursday night game this week. It was a picture of Cliff Kingsbury sitting with Kyler Murray on the bench during their game Thursday, going over the plays, and he's not standing there paying attention to whatever else is going on defense. He's focused on fixing what's going on so they can win that game. So I'm hoping that gets a little bit more of what we need, maybe.
And you would think that's how it's supposed to be, given that you have so many coaches for specific areas. Like, if everybody just does their area right and focuses on their area, you would think that would be the better outcome. Right. So it's interesting to see that he hasn't done that before. But you're right. That's going to be huge to me because there were a lot of people, I was one of them, kind of on the why do we even still have Press Taylor here for the reasons you just said. And so that's going to be telling this week if we do see something different and working out.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things, you remember last year towards the end of the season when the Eagles had no receivers left and they were working with the practice squad and they had guys on IR and they were just an absolute mess trying to get to the playoffs. There was a point where Doug Peterson finally stopped and said, okay, Mike Groh is the offensive coordinator, but also was coaching the wide receivers as well. There was a wide receiver coach in there, but he was kind of running that a little bit more. Doug Peterson stepped in and went, I'm running wide receiver practice. I'm doing it. And if you remember, that's when everybody kind of stepped up and the Eagles obviously, got themselves to the playoffs. Yeah. Now, I thought the weird juxtaposition there was at the end of the season, it was a Howie Jeffrey Lurie decision that they wanted to get rid of Mike Groh, and Doug Peterson did not want to fire Mike Groh. I don't know if Doug would have wanted to move him somewhere else or take just get him back to the wide receiver. I don't know, but you saw a little bit of a change when Doug went in there and one of those if you want something done right, do it yourself kind of thing. So now I don't think this would end up in Press Taylor necessarily losing his job unless Howie Jeffrey Lurie decided that's what they wanted to do. But I think that it'll be interesting to see if there is that change, exactly what you said, if that does make a difference for what we see from Carson, what we see from play calling, if they have better communication. Who knows? If they have a little bit better communication and they're cutting out the middleman, they could get on a roll.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. So that'll be interesting to watch. Another huge piece for the Eagles this week is the Browns. Their injury list. They had a whole bunch of inactives that weren't important, but obviously the one name that stands out is Myles Garrett being out due to COVID. He has 9.5 of the team's 22 sacks so far in the year. So it's huge, 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 obviously, to have him out. And hopefully we'll see some Carson getting out of the pocket due to that. Well, he should be getting out of the pocket anyway, So hopefully we see more of that. And hopefully because Myles Garrett, they'll kind of be like, bing, that's what we should highlight because Myles Garrett is out. So let's have a run game. So that's what you want to see from that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say you're absolutely right. The run game for the Eagles is going to be huge today. The Browns are really good against the run, and obviously they're a good defense, and a lot of that goes to Myles Garrett. I mean, Myles Garrett has 9.5 of their 22 sacks on the year. He's a stud. There's no one that's going to argue that. He was a number 1 overall pick, he is their guy on defense, and he's the guy they've built that defense around. I think they're 6th best in the league against the run as well. So now keep in mind, the Giants had a pretty good run defense as well. And Miles Sanders was still out there doing work against them. We would have liked to see that continue. But I think that if the Eagles play their cards right, without having to game plan for a guy like Miles Sanders, that opens up what they can do so much more. And I really hope that they do everything that they can to take advantage of it, because it's not like they found out yesterday Myles Garrett wasn't going to play because of COVID protocols. This was earlier this week. Like, this happened Wednesday.
Yeah.
You knew this was coming. You had time to get yourself right, knowing what you're up against.
Exactly. So obviously that's a key matchup. The other one we have the same. So what's our other key matchup?
Our other key matchup is going to be, the Eagles D-line against these running backs. So, I mean, the run game across the board is a factor for everyone today in every facet of the game. The Eagles offensive run game, the Eagles defense against the run game, and then the same exact thing for the Browns. I mean, you talk about a running back by committee kind of approach, and I think we should talk about that a little bit. I don't know if I've been talking about how I don't watch those press conferences anymore, but I wanted to watch them for injury purposes earlier this week because we were getting ready to do a show and I wanted to get that information right away so I could put it in our notes. But so I listened into the press conference and someone asked Doug, I forget who it was, but asked him, traditionally you've had in your tenure here, you've had this running back by committee approach. And that's kind of how you've approached the run game through your career until you brought in a Miles Sanders. And this year, Miles has been, he's been that workhorse for you. He's been your 3-down back. And, it has been less of a committee approach and more of a traditional, this is your running back and you got to change a pace back here and there.
Yeah.
And a lot of tweets came out of his response talking about how he was going to get more to a committee approach. And that's not really what I heard him say, to be completely honest. I heard him say, we believe in Miles Sanders. He absolutely is that 3-down back for us for all 4 quarters. He's that workhorse. I heard him say, we're going to put a little bit more emphasis on the run game and get the other guys involved as well. It wasn't about taking away Miles Sanders touches and spreading them around. It was about giving Miles Sanders his X amount of touches, but also getting Boston Scott more involved, getting Corey Clement more involved, more or less putting more of an emphasis on utilizing those guys, putting more of an emphasis on the run game and not from taking touches away from Miles Sanders, not really getting back to a committee approach, but
just using the run more. Yeah. Okay.
Using your weapons as much as you can and playing up the strengths of every single one of your weapons that you have. So I think that needed to be addressed because for some reason this year, and I think losing sets panic into all of this stuff and things get taken wrong ways, and just reading things from Twitter then exploits things all over the place. And I thought that was one of those. I thought I saw a lot of things about, we're going back to a running back by committee approach. And that's not really what I heard Doug say. I heard him say more of, Miles Sanders is our guy, but let's get these other guys involved as well, and they can help us.
Yeah, it was kind of going along with that. Maybe there was a little misconstrusion, if that's a word. Right there. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. So, I mean, whatever. But maybe there was a little misunderstanding there because there were those talks about bringing in Jordan Howard for possible practice squad and all that kind of stuff and bringing him back, which they did originally try to have that running back by committee with Sanders and Howard. So maybe that's where people started getting the idea and mixing it up. But I have no.
But to kind of bring this back to this game this week, the Eagles or the Browns have shown you 2 running backs who are studs. Ain't a bad thing to have. Kareem Hunt's averaging 6.7 yards a carry. Nick Chubb averaging 6.1 yards a carry.
Well,
last week, they both ran for over 100 yards.
And that's the thing that's so frustrating about, I mean, we're going backwards now, but that's the thing that was frustrating about the whole Jordan Howard situation was him and Sanders were supposed to be that 1-2 punch. And I truly believe they could have been if they were utilized, which is one word that's standing out this whole show that we're saying is utilize.
Mm-hmm.
But used it right, it would have worked because they're both so talented, but they're both the key different parts that you want to have in a run game.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree. They better use Miles today. They're
100%.
Absolutely
Nice name.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm totally on board with that. But exactly what you're saying. If you think back to the one play that comes to mind when they talked about, I loved the idea of Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders together. You got the guy who's a little bit bigger of a back, and Miles Sanders has that athleticism. Think about that one play against the Buffalo Bills. It was a 60-some yard touchdown run. I want to say it was Miles Sanders' first NFL touchdown. And they had both running backs in the backfield, and Jordan Howard threw the key block that got Miles Sanders through, and he ran for, 60-some yards and a touchdown. And even just being able to utilize things like that is, what is a benefit of having some of these guys out there and having multiple guys like that out there. So really today, the Eagles defense, if they are going to step up and have a good game against the run, today is the time to do so. Kareem Hunt, the last time he played the Eagles, had 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was in 2017, the year they went to the Super Bowl. I remember watching that game and just being like, stop him. Stop him. And now they have 2. They have 2 of them.
Yeah.
If the Eagles play against the run the way they did last week, this is going to be a painful day.
Yeah.
This will get spiked real quick. There will be alcohol flowing real quick.
Yeah. With that being said, so I said how utilize is our word of the show today, and I'm going to take it right into my keys of the game. So for the offense, we need to see those big changes in play calling today. My biggest thing, a lot of people's biggest thing going out of last week were the 2 back-to-back plays where they had Carson getting out of the pocket and they gained 40 yards and then we didn't see it the entire rest of the game. Mm-hmm. And it took them 3 quarters basically to get that going. So that's one of my biggest things is get Carson out of the pocket, utilize his strengths, which is crazy that we even have to say this in what is 4th year here. So it's nuts that we even still have to say that and you can't utilize him to his strengths at this point. It's a little asinine at this point. So get him out of the pocket ASAP. I want to see a lot of that. And then most importantly, we just touched on it. Run the ball. Myles Garrett, he's out. Utilize that. And it's the coaching that we always talk about that are the obvious things right in front of your face. Play the best where you can play. You know what I mean? Why not play to your strengths and why not help your team? So get Carson out of the pocket, utilize the run game are my biggest things on offense. What about you?
My biggest things on offense are, they're the exact same. And it's because they're the most obvious things to say. And it's exactly what we've been saying for however many weeks now. And I know we're not the only ones. Everyone's been saying the same thing. And it's unbelievable that we have had to continuously have this same conversation. I don't want to have to say the same thing next week. Not next week, tomorrow when we record.
Yeah, you noticed. Yeah, keep going. Sorry, I'll say it after.
I know exactly what you're going to say. We talked about this in our show this week. We use the same template for our shows every week. All we do is we have a Google Doc and we make a copy and we just type
Fill in.
All we've done for the last 3 weeks is replace the episode number, because all of the criticisms, all of the what we would do different, all of the positives, all of the negatives, they're all the exact same because nothing is changing. Nothing is different. And I can't figure out why you and I can sit here and say this, but the Super Bowl winning head coach can't. I don't understand.
It's frustrating. And he has this offensive coordinator by committee and all kinds of things that are supposed to be able to have all these ideas contributed and help to it. And it's done nothing.
Yeah.
And let's not even get me into offensive.
It was either going to be too many cooks in the kitchen, or it was going to be lots of really good ideas. I've seen no good ideas. There have been none. Absolutely none. The one good idea I think I've seen so far was the 4th down play call last week. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember I don't remember what it was. It was
I can't remember it either.
One, and I think it was like a wide receiver screen or a tight end screen or something. Whatever it was great, and it worked really well. That's about the best idea that they've had in 11 weeks. And, but so I don't want to have to say the same thing next week in our episode. I don't want the negatives of the game to all be the same. Utilize the bootlegs and get Carson rolling out of the pocket. I sound like a freaking broken record. 7 minutes into the third, it took on last week. Back-to-back plays, they gain 40 yards, and then they don't use it again. I can't figure that out. They're outsmarting themselves. They're making arrogant play calls on both sides of the ball. Fit the system around your players. Don't force your guys into a box. Forcing Carson Wentz into a box is very easily the quickest way to destroy him as a quarterback. It's
100%.
Like that shouldn't be an issue at this point. They need to start getting some pre-snap motions in there. They're just vanilla. They're stagnant. And without Myles Garrett, please just don't ruin my day.
Yeah.
What do you think on defense? What's the key to the game for you on defense?
So defense, I'm very, very nervous about today, just in the fact of the defensive line against this dual running back threat that they have going on, because quite honestly, the way that they've been playing, they're supposed to be on paper our most dominant part of this team. And all they've done is disappoint. I mean, you see flashes here from BG and stuff, like you see flashes, but then nothing happens and they just keep letting Daniel Jones run all over you. And so that's my biggest concern right now, is seeing them against this dual running back threat. And I mean, I want to say that they need to stop them because they do. I don't know if I believe that they will, which sucks because they've brought me down to start Cole, Jess, and I hate being where I am, So we just need to see something happen there. I don't even care if they play amazing. Just stop that run. And most importantly, get our confidence back with it, our confidence in them back with it.
Yeah.
And then on the positive note, though, I do think that we'll see a good game from Darius Slay. He had a little bit of a hard time with Slayton last week after a dominant performance against him in the first game against them. So I think we'll see a good game from Darius Slay this week on Landry.
I really hope you're absolutely right. And I think one of the biggest negatives about this defense is not only that they have disappointed us, but they can't step up when they need to. And they have more so in certain situations. Like they stepped up, against the Giants in the first game. They stepped up when they needed to, and they got that strip sack to end the game. Last week, however, the Eagles come out in the second half. They go right down the field and score. All of a sudden, it's a 4-point game, and we're feeling a little bit better, right? All you need to do is stop them, get the offense the ball back. They have some momentum, and we can get this thing done in the second half. The Giants just let them go right, or the Eagles just let the Giants go right down and score. So the momentum on both sides, they're not helping each other. And we talk about this every week. Having a complete game in all three phases of the game is what's going to help them win. And they're not a team at this point where one can save the other. They need to step up and save each other. So, like, for example, the Dallas Cowboys game, the offense was terrible. The offense played an abysmal game.
Yeah.
Defense kept them in it. But when they needed a drive from the offense, that's exactly what they got. The offense went right down, put the ball in the end zone, and that's all they needed. When they needed a drive, they stepped up.
Yeah.
Against the Giants the first time, the offense was playing well. The defense was awful. When they needed something to happen, the defense stepped up. Last week, the opposite.
There's no balance.
Right. There's absolutely no balance at all. So, I mean, Jim Schwartz started his coaching career in Cleveland. Would love to see him not just lay a giant egg on that field out there. But this is the week their run defense really has to perform at their best level. The dual threat of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is so scary for me going into today. I mean, I'm not scared in the slightest of Baker Mayfield. Whatever.
No.
Let him beat you. Go ahead. But
my thing about even us having to stress and emphasize these annoying parts of the game that are so obvious and are just reoccurring effects every single week, we are stressing about this game right now and breaking it down to a point saying they need to do things, and it's the freaking Cleveland Browns. And I understand they're 6-3, so on paper they're not terrible, but it's the Cleveland Browns.
Can you imagine 3 years ago being like, hey, in 2020, in week 11, it's going to be a must win against the Cleveland Browns?
Come on. And it quite literally, like, this is a must win this week, because then you have Seattle, and then you have the Packers in Lambeau, and then you have the Saints, who should be getting Drew Brees back. Well, they say he's potentially coming back. Then he's also got like 14 broken ribs. So we'll see.
This is probably one of the funniest jokes I've ever seen in my life.
It was a good one.
This is amazing. You know how Doug like vanilla, which leads to Rocky Road? I am dead. That's amazing.
I love it.
That's hilarious. This is another thing. The defense can't get off the field in third down.
And it's so frustrating because when they do actually hold them to the third downs, we saw it a couple times last week. It was like 3rd and 1, and then they give up the 4th down. Like easy.
Yeah.
So it's just, oh, man.
So with that, what is your final score prediction for the Eagles today?
Okay, so I think because it's a must win and because of all the reasons we said that they're going to be able to hold on to this, I don't think it's quite necessarily going to be a pretty game. I wish it would, but I don't think it will be. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll get the win. I'm not confident in it. I didn't want to say them losing and then them get the win and me be the negative Nelly. So for the sake of my reputation, I am saying 20-17 Eagles.
All right. I like it. I am going 20-13 Eagles. I think they're going to do it. I need them to do it. And I think that these guys on the defense are going to step up. And I think that they're going to have to force Baker to beat them. And I don't think he can. But let's check in to see what some of our other people think here. 20-17 Birds. I like it.
I like it.
March positive.
Hey, wait, that's my score. That's why I like it. I think, Rob, we are on the same page.
I like this one better. I mean, I don't like the Browns scoring 37 points, but I would love to see the Eagles put up.
I originally, when I was counting it up in my head, I gave the Browns a lot of points based off of us not stopping their run game. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen because I don't necessarily see the Eagles offense putting up a lot because I don't have, not that I don't have confidence in our actual players because I like them, but I don't have confidence in the play calling to make that happen.
Oh, here's a good thing to point out. It's cold and wet in Cleveland today. So I'm going to need that Eagles defense to step the hell up out here.
Yeah. Positive side of that, it'll force the Eagles, hopefully force them to run. Hopefully.
Not willing. Here's some other scores we got on Twitter. So Zach Meyer said, I'll go Eagles 18-17. My girlfriend says 10-9 Eagles. An ugly win, but still a win. If that happens, is that another one of those that we feel like it's a loss? Like we're so angry and frustrated, but they still won the game?
I think with this team, Jess, it's just it's not a happy season. As much as we try to make it happy, it is not a happy season. And I think at this point, we just need to take what we can get. Honestly.
And then Rob Hanna says somebody put a number on Payne. And that's his final score prediction.
On paint?
On pain, like ow, I'm in pain.
Oh.
Which, yeah, no words. 23-17 Eagles. Was that my score? No, I said 21-13. I can't keep
Yeah. That's close.
All right.
So around the league.
Around the league.
We have Washington taking on the Bengals at the same time as the Eagles at 1:00. What do you have for that?
I really want Alex Smith to get a win. I really want him to get a win as a starting quarterback, but I just think that the Bengals have some more weapons and they have some more interesting things that they can do. So I'm going to take the Bengals 26-20.
Okay. Yeah, I want Alex Smith to get a win. I don't necessarily think it'll happen. I think it'll be a semi-close game, but I don't see them pulling it out. So I'm going to say 22-17 Bengals. Jeez. And
Okay,
then we have Dallas at Minnesota, and they play at 4:25. Dallas is so bad.
I hate both of these teams so much. It's unbelievable.
I don't like Minnesota for obvious reasons, but I don't hate them nearly as much as I hate Dallas.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. So, but I say Dallas is really bad. So I'm going to say 24-13 Minnesota.
What did I write down? I have 23-17 Minnesota. I hate Kirk Cousins so much. Also, I think the Minnesota Vikings should be ashamed of themselves, and they're an absolute disgusting franchise that, I mean, they live their entire lives at this point just remembering how much Nick Foles, of all people, hurt them so bad. Did you see what they posted after they won on Monday Night Football?
No.
They posted – so Nick Foles got hurt, right? And they thought it was bad. They thought he broke a hip or something.
Mm-hmm.
They ordered him off. It was scary. It looked bad. Luckily, it's not as bad as they thought. Thankfully, Nick is okay. However, the Minnesota Vikings posted the picture of Nick down on the ground right after he got hurt with the final score over top of it, and it said "bear down," which is their whole thing is bear down, whatever. I get that, but I thought that was super disrespectful and classless and shows you why they will never win a single thing because they are a disgusting franchise and can't get over how bad Nick Foles, of all people, hurt them.
Yeah, you would think they might be liable for a fine on that or something.
I just thought that was come on. I get you won, and you use the bear down thing completely. Use that. But with the picture of Nick Foles, as they're bringing the cart onto the field, come on. Come on. Also, Philadelphia Eagles fans, there's a petition going on to make sure we get Yannick Ngakoue to the Pro Bowl to make sure that the Jags get a higher pick that they get to steal from the Vikings. So let's all jump in on that and do our best to screw the Vikings any way we can.
That'd be sweet.
But with that said,
I'm going to
beat Dallas because Dallas sucks and I hate them.
Yeah.
And that's that. And the Giants have a bye. So
yeah,
that's where we are. All right, prop bets. You ready?
I'm ready.
And we're going to go with some positivity for our trivia today. There's not a lot of it, but we're going with positivity. So keep that in mind, everyone. All right. But I will be checking our Instagram as well. Oh, yeah. Okay. If there's an echo, I'm so sorry.
I don't know how to fix the sound on Instagram Live.
We'll figure that out for next week. Maybe we'll put headphones in the phones or something. We'll figure that out. But
that's smart.
I appreciate you being here. Please answer our prop bet question. Okay. Who has more passing yards today, Carson Wentz or Baker Mayfield?
Carson.
Anyone else who would like to share? I'm going with Carson as well.
I feel like going into this week, it's just such a bland week. Just seeing our numbers of viewers, I feel like nobody's into this. This team, I mean.
It's a must win against the Cleveland Browns. This is painful. It is painful. But last year was a must win against the Buffalo Bills. On a rainy Sunday, I would love to see them go in and do what they did against Buffalo. They played a complete game, all three phases, and they made a statement in Buffalo. And Carson Wentz had a really good game in the pass game as well, even though it was pouring and windy and gross. Carson needs to have more, 100% agree. Carson, the Browns stay with the run.
Yeah, I agree. That's the Browns' strong suit right now. They'd be stupid to try to push something else. Especially, I mean, it'd be different if we had as terrible secondary as we've had in the past. But they really only have Landry as their big passing piece right now. And then we have Slay. So as long as Slay does what he needs to, it would make no sense for them.
Now, they also have Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
And we know what our linebackers are incapable of doing.
Yeah.
Playing the linebacker position. We got more Carson. Love that. All right, next. Over under 50 yards for Alshon Jeffrey today. We saw him get one target last week.
I would like to say over 50. So I was, in the beginning, I was all about Alshon not taking snaps from other receivers that were worthy of it. And I still feel that way. But just because it would be so huge for us to have him get at least 50 or more, I'm going to say he's getting 50 or more.
I'm trying to go back and see. He only played 18 snaps last week.
Yeah, he did. He was not in, and majority of it was in the beginning of the game. Carson's first passing target was to Jeffrey, which was cool to see, but it
didn't work.
Incomplete.
We got an under. Yeah, it was incomplete. It was not great. He was pretty well covered.
It was over his head. That's what it was, because Carson had a couple overshots in the beginning.
Yeah, and then it kind of got back under control. But
yeah,
he played the only receiver he played any more than was John Hightower. Everyone else had more snaps than Alshon.
Jeez.
So, and by a lot. Like,
John
Hightower played 3 snaps. Alshon had 18. Greg Ward played 42. And Travis Fulgham and Jalen Reagor played 59 each.
Okay, but I rationalize those being the top 3. But I just think maybe Alshon should have a little more than 18.
Yeah, sure. Over sees the field more this week. Under, not many targets again. And wet means under, which is a fair assessment. All right, next. Nice wet day. Over under 2 turnovers for the Eagles offense today.
I'm going to say over and hope that I jinx it and it's under, and I'm just wrong because I'm bad at the betting. So for the sake of Philly, I'm going to hope that my betting jinxes this one. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, everyone, don't worry. I'm saving all of our lives and not letting Sam place a bet on the Sixers to win the NBA Finals this year. Because
I really wanted to, because they're doing some exciting things. And last time I placed a bet was the day before Ben was out for the season. So I am just going to keep my betting hands away.
Yep, Sam's not allowed to place bets anymore.
Yeah, I could be like millions of dollars worth here, but Jess is prohibiting. So
listen, if they win one, you're allowed to place it on them to win a second one. We just got to get that first one under control first.
Yeah. But that's where you make your money, Jess, Money mastermind here. Just kidding. I don't think I've ever actually won a bet.
Exactly. Why you're not allowed to keep betting.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I did win one bet, and that was completely random. I don't even remember what the bet was. It was the first time Jamie Lynch had me on DraftKings. First bet, I was like, oh, no duh, this team's going to win. I don't even remember. It was a basketball game. And I won $50 on it. But other than that, I've lost everything.
All right. So we're hoping under, and defense also gets 2. So unfortunately, Ricardo said it will be over. He doesn't think you're going to jinx it. And we got an over, definitely. Dang, people.
Dude, this team's not bringing out the confidence. That's what I'm saying. They were supposed to bring up that confidence last week with a big win over the Giants, and woo, it dropped.
We got nothing. Oh, man. Apparently, Jarvis Landry is wearing Allen Iverson cleats. How dare you?
Why? How are you going to rep our icon in a game against us?
I don't know.
If anything, that helps us, right?
I'd hope.
Like, is he repping Philly? He wants his team to lose? I don't know.
Oh, God. How long until the Browns are trading Jarvis Landry to the Eagles?
Yeah.
How do we get there? All right. Over under 100 rushing yards for the Eagles today. Wet day in Cleveland.
It should be over. But do we have the confidence in this coaching staff that it will be over?
No.
No, I don't either. But it should be over.
I hope it's over, but
yeah.
Who knows?
Well, there was one game in the beginning of the year before Miles Sanders' injury.
Who invited this guy?
Right.
Browns and 7. Get out of here. Stop it.
But yeah, so there was one game, though, earlier this season, remember? And we kept saying over under 100 yards for Miles Sanders and stuff like that. And we said over. He had like 89 yards in the first half, and he was still under 100 yards because the Eagles coaching staff decides to just stop it. So I don't have confidence in that, but he should have over. Well, all of them combined, especially, should have over 100.
I absolutely agree. We got over because they'll run more. Better be over. Super agree.
Mm-hmm.
Over. Let's see. Over. Need Wentz to get back to running too. I don't hate that because he looks like himself.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous, of course. Like, who did he dive into the end zone against? And I had severe PTSD.
Oh, I don't remember. It was maybe the Giants or Dallas. It was previously or like soon.
Was it against the Rams again? It might have been when they played the Rams, and I really
I feel like that was a long time ago.
I know. I put that out of my brain. Okay. Over. Jalen Hurts will have a 15-plus yard rush. Well, I hope I don't see Jalen Hurts at all on the field today, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, what about for the Browns? Over under, I changed it up a little. Over under 150 yards on the ground for the Browns because they have two I know.
Over. I still choose the over. Jeez.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
This team. My job is supposed to be fun.
I know. This is supposed to be fun. When Bleeding Green Nation came to us and they were like, hey, want to do a podcast? We were like, hell yeah, we want to do a podcast. And now it's like the most strenuous thing about my life.
Yeah, now, geez.
Ugh, we still love it. We will continue doing it.
My eyes are watering.
I'm saying they're aging me so fast.
Yeah.
Have we seen a well-designed Hurts play? No.
No. Because it's the same one every single week. It's you put Hurts in, you pull Carson to the side, you have them think maybe, oh, you're going to Carson. Not really, but that's what they think. And yeah, and then Carson blocks, and then you lose 2 yards.
Yep. Love some good 10 on 11 football. It works every time. Over 150, but less than 200.
I can agree with that.
Okay. I mean, they can run as many yards as they want as long as they don't get that one into the end zone.
Right? That's true.
You can have 300 yards, but if you don't score, I'm fine.
Won't mean nothing to me.
Yeah. The Baltimore game was the only one with good Hurts plays. That is absolutely true.
You're right. And that's because, whatchamacallit? Oh, no, that would help the offense. I was going to say they did something special that week, but that's because they were playing against Hurts, right? The defense.
Yeah.
And scout team.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that helped Hurts because he was getting extra snaps in practice.
Maybe. Over, but I hope to God we're wrong. Yep. Say over. Let's see what else. You mean zone read isn't a well-designed play? No. No, it's not a well-designed play. And apparently the defense doesn't practice going against it either because I mean the zone read's a well-designed play apparently when the New York Football Giants do it, but not. God. Okay, we're getting back to positivity now. Okay, who is the star of the game for the Eagles on offense today?
Should be Miles Sanders.
It better be Miles Sanders.
I can't do the wave with this part of my arm, my left arm. There we go. That was a better one.
What are you doing right now? I can't go that way.
Miles Sanders.
I can't go this way. It doesn't work.
I can't go this way. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, things we learned today. Who's the star of the game for the Eagles on defense? I need a Darius Slay game. I
would love that. But because I say it every week until it happens, Jess, Fletcher Cox. Boom! Fletcher Cox.
You're not the only one.
There we go. Me and Rob are on sync today.
Yeah,
we guys are at the same score.
Here.
Yeah.
We're really right here. But I really do need a Darius Slay game. I think he has been the bright spot of the defense to this point. But he just like I want that extra level of like I need interceptions. I need like I want.
Yeah.
I need someone.
Ooh, an interception gave me chills. That would be awesome. Hey, I love Joe Osman.
I do too. But
he's probably my favorite practice.
So many people on this Joe Osman train right now.
I like him. Yeah, I keep saying Osman. How do you say Osman?
You heard it. Chris, get out. You're done.
I actually like Alex Singleton.
I do too, but
good guy.
I like him more than I like Nate Gary, but that's also not saying much. The linebackers just suck, and I can't handle it. All right, we're going to put this one in here one more time. Over under 4 plays for Jalen Hurts. Last week it was 3. And
I'm just going to drink my coffee cup again. because I'm fearing that the Eagles coaching finally listens to us and hears us talking about running, and then they misinterpret it and somehow make it into Jalen Hurts running plays. I don't know.
If they're running an RPO and they take Carson off of the field, I'm okay with it. We talked about this. I think it was
actually have a threat.
It was the 1 week he threw up pass. Remember? And
what week was that?
6, maybe 5. I don't know. But what they did was they let him be a quarterback. And if they just go out there and they let him be a quarterback, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm okay if they throw him in there for a little change of pace here and there, or if Carson like breaks off like a 45-yard run, it's like, hey, I need to catch my breath for a second.
Yeah, like give it some flavor.
No, I don't mind them utilizing him here and there. The way the Saints use Taysom Hill, but they take Drew Brees off the field. You know what I mean? Like they let
some flavor into it. Get creative, make something actually possibly work with it. You know what I mean? So they're just using it in all the wrong ways, and it sucks because it's like it makes us sound like we just hate Jalen Hurts, which we don't. Like I think he's a good player. Same thing with Carson Wentz. They're not utilizing him to his strengths.
Yeah. I like Jalen Hurts, but I hate the fact that he's a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, right now.
I hate it for him. I hate it for the Eagles. I also hate it for Jalen Hurts because I think he could be successful somewhere else, and I think he could thrive somewhere else. And I think
you think about it,
it's a disservice to everyone.
Yeah, and you think about it, it hurts his name. You know what I mean? He's a young rookie quarterback, and this just makes him look back because what's his stats? He's probably negative in yardage because they're using these stupid plays that are the same exact play every single game.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a push. We've got over. Doug still thinks it's going to work eventually. Yeah. Over because they're going to win their first blowout of the season. This is not the first time we've heard this. I keep saying Cox is going to do something. Callie keeps saying that, and one of these days it'll happen. Let's hope. That means he needs a whole series to himself. That's not totally wrong, but I don't want him to get a whole series to himself unless they're winning by 30 in the fourth quarter. We'll it's not worth it. But it's the same thing. I'm going to say this again with the Saints with Taysom Hill. They don't give him a whole series. Sometimes they do here and there, but they put him in for a play to change the pace, change it up, make it something different. And the fact that they allow him to either pull it and run it himself, hand the ball off, or pass the ball and be a quarterback, it's just weird because they're trying to shove him down our throats and trying to like justify them picking him. But that's exactly what they're trying to do. Correctly, so it's just an absolute cluster. Yeah. Over, too stubborn not to put him in. Also true. All right, let's get to some trivia. And this is where we're going to get positive, and we're going to wrap it up from here. Okay, the first trivia is not super positive. Thanks, Jess. All right. They have played, the Browns and the Eagles have played, I have to do math, 49 times. This is the 50th matchup. Who is leading the series, and what is the record? So 49 games. What is the record between these teams, and who is leading? Well, you said this one's not so positive, so I'm going to say this is because I don't have the things in front of me. Ooh, yeah. So I'm going to say, wait, how out of 49? I'm trying to do math. 49. Is that 49? That is 22. So 47, and then that'd be 27. Are there any ties in there? Yes, there's a tie. Andrew, okay, so 22, 26, and 1. 18. What? My brother says the Browns 32-18. Andrew, that's super close, but there's a tie in there. So fix it and figure it out. Oh, shoot. Okay, so wait. I'm going to say 31-18 and 1. That's 50. Oh, shit. Fix it a little bit. 31-18 and 1. You just said that. That's the same thing you just said. Wait, 31-18 and 1 is 50. Oh. Andrew, 30-18 and 1. 30-18 and 1. Maybe my math is wrong. No, you're right. That would be 50. Wait, hold on. I can't there's a calculator right here. My fiance is a math teacher. I have a calculator. Let me just add this up. And we are doing him justice right now. Yeah, this is why I'm marrying him, because I am terrible at math. Oh yeah, 49. I was right.
Okay.
Andrew,
Yeah,
that's
no.
not right. Flip it. Go the other way.
What did he say? I'm going to take it.
This time he said 32, 16, and 1.
Oh, he added. That's
Yeah.
51
So he said 32 and 18. I said there's a tie in there. You need to fix it. So he subtracted it from the loss, which was the wrong one.
Okay, so it's going to be 31, 17, and 1.
Yes.
No, and 16 and 1.
31, 17, and 1. This was also very close. Math is hard, people, okay? I'm
Wait,
terrible
37, 31, 17, and 1. That's
Yes.
50.
No, it's not. It's 49.
Okay.
I just added it right here. The calculator said
Okay,
so.
yeah. That's probably more trustworthy than my mind. So
All right,
These are
now we're
brutal.
getting positive. Ready? Then these are going to wrap up our show. Carson Wentz's first career game in 2016, he played the Cleveland Browns. Who was the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in that game? I was there too. Math on Broad. Yes.
101. Yep, Math on Broad 101.
And we got a winner.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. I was blanking.
McCoy, no. Andrew, no.
Hmm.
It was RG3.
Ah,
This was after they gave up on Johnny Manziel.
yeah.
This was after. Johnny Manziel was drafted in 2013. By 2016, they were.
Wow, 2013. That's nuts. I was still in high
I'm
school.
sorry. No, he was drafted in 2014, actually. So sorry.
So I was graduating high school. That's nuts.
Because I remember I watched it from my dorm in college. I was a freshman in college when he got drafted.
That's crazy.
Yep, RG3. We got lots of RG3s. Oh, that's so dope. And that was a good game to attend. That was a good game to attend. All right. How many touchdowns did Carson Wentz throw that day? How many?
4,
No.
5,
No. Wrong way.
3,
We got it. 2.
2, 1. See, I was just counting down for them.
Yep, there you go. There it is.
Mhm.
Who did he throw those 2 touchdown passes to? You have to get both.
I don't know how people remember this stuff. My mind is not holding all this in there.
It's the day we learned we got to hop on the Wentz wagon, you know?
Who would it have been? Ertz? Would it be Ertz?
What?
Was that the start of the Ertz?
Ertz has been here since 2014.
But I'm saying like Carson and Ertz. Like did Ertz get one of those touchdowns?
No.
Wow, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, we got it. So there was a little bit of a typo here, but this is correct. I know exactly what they're going for, and they just fixed themselves. Jordan Matthews caught the first one, and that's when they did their, they did their little the handshake and the tie fix. Remember that little celebration they had together?
Mm-mm.
And Nelson Alligator Arms caught the other one. Shocking as that may be.
Yeah,
He caught
interesting.
That's like the one he did catch. But yeah, so Carson Wentz, they won that game 29-10, I believe. The defense had a good game. Carson Wentz came out there, his first drive of the game, and he rolled right down. And I remember shockingly, I get very nervous when the Eagles have traded up to do things in the past. I did not want Chip Kelly to do it with Marcus Mariota. I was so against that.
Okay.
He would have lost everything, and it would have been a terrible mistake. I was so against that, and I'm so glad it didn't happen. I was equally as nervous when they did this for Carson Wentz. So I was very hesitant.
I was, for some reason, so cocky in college because that would have been my first going into freshman year. And I remember even having it would have been going in my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I remember having a television class, and I did a whole TV segment about Carson Wentz compared to Jared Goff.
Interesting.
And shut that down. And then I followed it up the next week with a Carson Wentz versus Dak Prescott. I remember doing that. I was so cocky for him. I don't know why. I had a good feeling. So hopefully it comes back.
I can't either. Maybe that's why the Minnesota Vikings hate us so much. Sammy and those damn sleeves he used to have on his jersey. It was ridiculous looking. Anyway.
They were.
I was not confident either. I didn't care who they picked at 1 or 2. I didn't care which one they ended up with. I was not confident in either. And I was just nervous about trading up that far and just, I don't know. I was
so opposite.
And I went into that game, not nervous because it was the Cleveland Browns, and I'm pretty sure they went 0-16 that year.
Yeah,
but
they were terrible.
I remember sitting there and watching that drive and my dad and I just looking at each other like this. And then like, what we have now? And being so, and then totally changed. And then I will also never forget, then the next week, they went and played the Chicago Bears. And Barack Obama had a speech that he was giving in Philadelphia for some reason. I mean, I guess that was an election year. So he was doing something. Maybe he was campaigning for Hillary. I don't know. But he was saying, you know, I hear you guys have a quarterback, you know, my good friend.
I remember.
You know, Barack, you better get on the Wentz wagon. And I was like, let's go.
Good times.
That just sticks out.
Good times. Gosh.
Remember when everyone just was happy?
Yeah, we were feeling the Philly vibes and we loved it. And we were the team everybody liked to hate. Look, I'm even wearing my Underdogs shirt.
I love it. I got my sparkly Eagles John on today. They're gonna do it. Listen, they're gonna get back on track. With thinking about that game against the Browns in 2016, just totally flipped my emotions and my confidence, and I'm ready to go now. Now I'm excited. The Eagles are.
That's how we should have started the game.
Yeah, why did we start there? Because now I'm feeling so good, thinking about it, talking about it. Let's go. Listen, I have all the confidence in the world.
Well, I guess that's the end of our show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to week 11. Okay, Jess.
I just exited myself out of the live stream because apparently.
I was like, why am I still hearing her? And I had you on the other screen.
Yeah, I hit like the back arrow by accident. Was like, gone. Bye. Well, anyway, let's go watch the Eagles. And we haven't started drinking yet, but maybe clearly we shouldn't because we don't need to. Yes, that is the end of our show for today. Thank you again for tuning in for another week of our pregame show. Even though it is really just hard to be positive, we're going to keep doing what we do. We're going to keep trying to be positive. We will figure out this echo problem on Instagram for next week. So thank you for joining us on all of our different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of the things. Thank you as always to SB Nation and Bleeding Green Nation for hosting us. Keep an eye out for our episodes this week. Hopefully we get some positive ones. But until then,